Hey guys, IO Crypto Mining here. And so today we're gonna talk about my Bitcoin ASIC buying spreadsheet. It's been brought up before by KiiNG and Hawk, and it's not overly difficult, but it's very customizable. So you can kind of run scenarios and kind of see what's going on. So we're looking at it here. I have talked about this before, so I'm just gonna kind of go over it again because it's been brought up. Everybody's thinking, okay, should I buy a Bitcoin miner here before the halving or the halving, whatever way you want to say it? And this is a way to run scenarios and see what's going on, what's going to happen, and then you can make a decision that works best for you. I currently have it updated to where at the time of my recording here, what the Bitcoin price is, which has gone up $1,000 since earlier today, and what the rewards are right now. And I'll talk about the rewards here in a little bit because that will change with the halving and kind of go from there. So here's the spreadsheet, and I have kind of the main miners and that kind of stuff available. I don't have all these updated, so keep that in mind, but I have the main ones updated. So I've updated XPs, the Pro Pluses. I updated the use price for the J Pros, the 104s, and the 96s. You can actually get those for around that price. And I've updated 95 low power mode and the brains option. And then I have the kind of the updated prices on the K Pros and the new S21s. And so this is just talking about what's available now, kind of the price you can get, and then it gives you kind of a breakdown. So this first column here is the big one, ROI. So that's if nothing changes. Everything was to stay the same as it is right now with this electrical costs, this Bitcoin price, and these rewards. So you got to keep in mind that means nothing changes at all. That's not going to happen. It's going to go up or going to go down in all these columns. But as of right now, you can see the green here. That's how many days and until you're ahead. So if you were to mine and then exchange your electrical and pay your electrical every month, so you're just left with a small portion of your profits. After 503 days, you'll pay off your S21. Now, that's in mind that you're going to get it today, which that's a different story. But so that's the same with these other miners. We have 500 days, 600 days, 800, 900 days for a lot of these, and so that's something to keep in mind. That's if you mine it right now, nothing changes, and that's at 9 cents electrical, which is pretty common on hosting. So the cool thing about this is you can see like 10% ROI. That's if the ROI goes down 10%. Preferably just the rewards goes down or the price goes down. One of them, not both. 25% and then 50%. Now, 50% means halving. When we're having halving, these are the new numbers. So that is one way to look at this. If everything is the same as it is right now, and the halving happens, at this moment, none of these are all negative, which means you're actually going to make less than, what you pay in electrical on all these machines. So something has to change. And so, this spreadsheet, we can run that scenario. We can also run that scenario if Bitcoin goes to, 60,000 and the rewards stay the same. Everything's in ultra green. Okay. Or if the halving happens, we're going to change these rewards. Okay. So we're going to change it to 105. So that's, half of what the rewards are right now. So the halving happens. Most of the current J Pros are negative. The K Pros, you're still positive, not by much. 21s are positive. And then even like the Pro Pluses are barely positive. They're only at, 40 cents a day, 42 cents a day. And the XP, you're actually making 235. But the problem is you're paying so much for it. You're paying so much up front. So it takes a lot longer to pay off. So these are where you run these scenarios. If the Bitcoin price, only stays like 45,000, you're negative at all of these, except for, yes, you're making money on the S21, but not very much. You're making $1.89. And so these are ways to run scenarios that see what works. So I'm going to backtrack here. I'm going to go back to what currently is right now, 35.5, and then 210 is kind of the number. So how I get this estimated rewards, I just take up what to mine, I'd go and I'd put 100 terahash in SHA-256. And so I get, all of these, but the one I'm looking at is Bitcoin. So this number here, 207, 206, but I mine to NiceHash. So it's always a little bit more. So right now, NiceHash is actually doing really good at the time of this, because this other coin, not Dogecoin, I forget what this coin is bringing up profit. So people are mining that on NiceHash. So I always take whatever the Bitcoin is, add just a little bit for NiceHash, and that's how I got my 210. Okay, and so that's easy to calculate. It's going to be the exact same after the halving. This number just be 103 or 104, something like that, and you just change it in your sheet. So yeah, so that's how I get to that number. And so this is just a way for you to run more numbers and different scenarios. Okay, let's run a scenario of what the halving might look like. And so if we're going to take the average Bitcoin miner, the average Bitcoin miner is at 7 cents to 8 cents electrical. Okay. And the average miner has these J pros. They have, 88, 92, 96, 104, 100, or 100, 104. Okay. If let's say the Bitcoin price, will be great at the time of halving, is at 50,000. Okay. Which is outstanding. I don't think it's going to be that high, but let's just take it for example. And the halving happens, so the rewards are cut in half. Okay, all these miners are going to be negative. Okay, these are all negative days to pay itself off. Okay, we're going to look at this first column here. Okay, this profit column right here. So you see they're all negative. Okay, even the really good miners are barely scratching by. Okay, so the Pro Pluses, the K Pros aren't too bad. And even like the S21s are making $4 a day. It's still taking 3 years to pay off, but at least they're ahead. Okay. And the XPs are actually doing pretty good. They're making $2. Okay. So what happens when this is what happens at the halving? Okay. This is a good scenario for the average person. I suspect that you're going to see a lot of people turn off. Okay. Because you can't make money at this. It's you're running yourself into the ground. Even the big boy miners that are at 5 or 6 cents that have a lot of overhead, they're not going to keep on. They have to go into their coffers to pay bills. So it's just not making any. So what I think will end up happening is the halving will happen. So the reward will be cut in half, and then you'll see like with the GPU mining, everyone was on that first month, and then everyone started turning off. Okay, and there was an equilibrium that was made, a month or two after when Ethereum got turned off with GPU mining. I suspect it's gonna be the exact same thing with Bitcoin at first. So everyone will stay on for a little bit, they'll turn themselves off, an equilibrium will be made to where, the 7 cents, are probably a little more ahead than this. Is that gonna be where, the rewards come up, let's say 20%? So let's put this at 125 instead of 105. Maybe then when they're making $1 a day, they might turn it back on because they're actually ahead. There'll be some kind of equilibrium. And if the Bitcoin price does not get to 50,000, it stays at 40,000, they're still in the negative. So then you see that equilibrium come up even more. Okay. And, so here they're finally ahead 60 cents. It'll be something like that where the amount of hash rate will drop off drastically after the halving. It might take a month or two for it to happen. That's what I suspect will happen. If you're at someone with, 5 cents, you're going to be way ahead. If this happens, even at the halving, you're ahead 60 cents. Okay. And that's if Bitcoin's at, just a little bit higher than it is now. It's at 40,000. We'll have to see how it goes, but I think there'll be some hash rate that comes off. How much? We'll have to see. But I think it can't stay status quo, then halving happens and nothing changes. There's going to be some big change, and I suspect it'll be people pulling off. Because, like I said, the average person is at 7 to 8 cents. Okay? And that's not the average home miner. That's the average, Bitcoin farm, big boys out there, and the really big boys out there that have, megawatts and megawatts that it's just theirs. So there's quite a few people that mine a bunch at that and are hosted at 8 to 9 cents. And so that's where it brings up the average quite a bit. So that's just what I'm seeing. Grab the sheet, use it for yourself. You can go in here and add different ones. You can add low power mode on the SJ Pros. You can add brains. If brains or the Epic boards, if you get better hash rate or better efficiency on those, you can go in there and add the column, and change these numbers up to make it work for you. I have some of the What's miners here. I don't have all of them. They're a touch behind. In general, you usually get them for a pretty good price. These the 10, the 18, 20, and 22, I was able to update the price. So those prices are what you can get today. But when new models come out and that kind of stuff, you can kind of see where that fits in. But it's same thing, same column, everything's still the same. So the good thing about the sheet is you can run different scenarios. You can make it work for you. You can change electrical cost to yours. You can play it out and see what works best for you. And so that's just what I wanted to share today. I appreciate you guys checking out my video. Have a good day.